It's time. It's time to settle the feud. Me, FIDE Master Mike Klein, and all of humanity are on the line here in this battle of 3Check. Mike has been talking a lot of trash about both me and MVL and our 3Check skills. I think he thinks he's better than us. That's the truth. He thinks he's better than us. And we'll just have to see about that. I'm going to play an opening that I've learned from the one and only MVL. I've watched him take this approach more than a few times now. One of the key ideas to removing the knight here, as you'll see, is that it opens up a lot of potential for the diagonal. B8, H2, exactly as that knight is gone. There's more threats over there. And now, even though this isn't even necessarily the way that MVL played here already, I'm already attempting to bring some real noise down on him. Combination of 2 checks is on the way. Take on H2 a check, followed by knight to G4 check. If you don't understand how to play 3 checks, it's very simple. You win the game by either checkmate, classical chess, you win on time, classical blitz, bullet, whatever, online chess, you can win on time, you can win by checkmate, or you win if you are the first person to check the opponent's king 3 times. Doesn't matter what you give up in that process. If you can check the king 3 times, you win. So already he's in deep doo-doo here. I've got some serious threats. One of the ideas here is that, okay, I'm almost winning. If I take on H2 takes and then knight G4 check, if he takes it, I win. If he plays king H1 or king H3, I win. If he plays king to G1, there's no immediate check follow-up. So often what you have to do is you want to prepare to have the H file opened. You want to prepare to sack on H2 and then play H4, either after knight to G4 check or by taking G3, and the rook will hopefully deliver the final check along the open file. So he plays knight there. It's interesting. I'm going to go ahead and pop in with knight to G4. Popping in with knight to G4 with no fear. Taking is, of course, not a possibility for him. He'd like to take on F7, but after king takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, he has no third check. And at that point, he'll have given up a lot. The house is coming down. So that's what it is. What is the call of the wild? It's all about wild variants. You know, it's not about me turning into a werewolf. That's a later movie starring Jack Nicholson. Okay, I can actually play knight e5 now if I want and take the bishop here. It's interesting. It's a little bit more positional than I was hoping to get. Eliminating that light square bishop is kind of a nice little idea, but I'm not sure it's anything else. Right? I think I'm going to go for it anyway. Not even necessarily because I am thrilled about the light square bishop, but because I think, I thought he might play this. So I think if I take here and then take there, I end up winning a piece, right? So if I take F4 and then I take here, I end up going just up a piece straight up. So that's not bad, right? Worse things have happened. And I don't see any reason to give any sort of crazy checks. So I should just develop here and maybe even just continue to solidify that bishop's position. What we want to do is we want to play G4 and open up files. Now we'll take it. He'll take. So now we will bring the bishop up. This is crazy, right? I mean, it's crazy because so far we've both made some sort of survival of the position. Honestly, he's played pretty well considering. If I take with check, and then I take there with check, I think it's over. Takes with check, and then block. So that makes sense, but the problem for him is that he has no checks, right? So he can only get 2 checks. And 2 checks are not going to do for him. And that's it. That's it. Game on. Game number 1 to the boss. That's Papa Bear. And I know he wants a rematch. Go ahead, bring it in for the real thing. This ain't all just, Cheerios and rodeos here between me and MVL. Theory has been developed. He says I learned some stuff, right? It's true, I did. I have learned some things. And I'm actually pretty happy with what I've learned. The single check is not a big deal for me. But I won't give him a second chance to do it. Okay, so he's playing similar to how I tried to play last time, right? But it's not the same structure when you haven't removed the knight aggressively. From the king side. So now what I'd like to do is find a way to play like e5. He plays h4. I play knight there. He takes. I take. He takes with his knight. There's still no checks. I'm going to go for this idea. It's a little risky, but I'm going to go for it. If h4, should I play h3? Takes, knight takes. There's still no checks in that scenario. And I think I actually, the piece is not as relevant as the initiative I'm sort of gaining toward the king. So now if he has to back up the knight, I immediately bring this knight into e4. And if he ignores it, not only is there knight f6 check threat, but threats like queen h5. So he might take on c3 first. I think that would be the smart decision, to eliminate one of the knights coming into this key e4 square where the knight can head into d6 or f6. Right? Look at Mike's picture. Nobody's that happy, Mike. It's like change your profile picture to something a little more miserable, like mine, all right? Nobody's that happy when they're playing chess. You see how miserable I look there? Can you see the anxiety in my move? I'm like, right, that's a chess player's avatar, all right? This is a journalist's avatar. All right, look at that little smiley guy. Get out of town. I'm going to wipe that smile off your face, buddy. He won't be smiling this year when my D-backs are much better than his Braves. If you guys didn't know that, FIDE Master Mike Klein is a big baseball fan. In fact, he knows more about baseball stats than like anybody. Like anybody. I mean, seriously, it's insanity. Okay, so he's going in, but he still has no checks. So where that will lead for him, I don't know. I'm going to stop him from castling, clearly, and say no suit for you. And I think he's in trouble. Yeah, I'd really like to bring my knight into e4. So I'm going to play here, preparing knight e4. And he's going to be giving up his queen for the knight and the rook. That's what he's going to be doing. And fortunately for me, that still doesn't really bring him any good checks. I guess we'll take now. We definitely want some open files. Uh-oh. Huh, that's a very nice move. But I think he's probably still just busted. I just have to make sure I guard G2 with the queen. And now there's no sack. He wanted to sack the rook, and if king takes rook G8, he wins. Anytime you get, if you only have one check left and you get a major piece checking on an open file, you automatically win, because there's nowhere the king or any piece can go to avoid the final check. So that's a little bit of a pro tip. And just like that, it's game over. And we continue. We continue. Match continues. I like to think I've learned a few things from MVL from time to time, paying attention to his opening repertoire very closely, as I think he's probably the best player in the world at this now, given that there aren't many other top 10 GMs playing it. So his chess reputation combined with his, his love of meat tornadoes. Hashtag Ron Swanson reference. Now that's interesting. That is interesting stuff. I guess I'll take and then take here. Yeah, that was definitely risky of me, right? Certainly was very risky. But I have a check. And that's one more than he has. And he better be careful, because if he moves his queen off the back rank, I can immediately play rook to b8. Now I'm threatening another check. He'll have to play rook to d1. And then if I develop the knight and get castled, I can kind of get out of the danger of all this stuff. Yeah, so he can go there. But I'm just going to develop my knight calmly. Let him do a trade. Okay, he doesn't want to trade. Makes some sense. We'll go here. Ooh, really? Time to go all in? All in for the checks? I wish. I don't see that that works concretely. I guess this move kind of works for now. I wanted to take h1, bishop takes, and then rook b8. Okay, but he sort of stops it, right? He recognizes the issue. The potential issue that was looming for him. If I play there, he takes with check, and then he wins. So I can't do that. Bishop a6 would have been real nice. I can play knight here, though. Even though that just ruined my ability to get castled. It's also kind of irritating for him, because it threatens bishop a6. If he takes, I'll still trade queens. Ooh, he goes for it. Okay, so he sees that I must have some potential issues here, huh? He likes his chances with the bishops. I understand. He's still down a check, though. Don't have a lot of time. I feel like I'm in a winning position now. I think rook takes g6 was a little premature by him. Go for it. Ah, I didn't see I was going to allow that. Okay. Okay, so he strikes back. All right. He strikes back. But the match is young. The match is young. Not letting him get off the hook here, you better believe that. Taking him down. What are we playing? Did we agree to what we're playing up to? I don't even think we did. I think we just said, like, hey, let's throw down. We just went old school throwdown style. He's trying to play the knight gambit, perhaps. He might be trying to go for the knight gambit. Yep, I know. I know. He gets his 2 checks. Okay. He gets his 2 checks. And that may be enough for him to win. I actually, pretending like I know, but I really did not calculate that whole thing very well. That's the truth. Uh-oh. That seems to do the trick, huh? Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. Okay, well, not over. Knight d4 novelty. Talking trash. Look, you were outplayed, buddy, twice, and I played a couple bad games. Don't get too excited about it, Mike Klein. Don't get too excited about it. Interesting, huh? He likes this. I don't really know that I think it's very good for him, to tell you the truth. Guess we'll play this way, see what happens, huh? Wow. Wow. Definitely an improvement on his first couple games. I think knight to b5 might have been even better with the same idea of his. Oh, well, that was stupid of me. I didn't even see that coming. Is he calculating knight to b5, going for the kill? He might have been. Decided he had second thoughts in the end. But I'm going to go here, happily. I don't think queen g4 was the right retreat. Now I'll be getting at least a couple checks before this thing is over. If he had played knight b5, takes queen, knight d6 check, it could have been a real mess for me. I'm going to guess that he wants to castle long. So I'm going to see if I can get him to trade. Very doubtful, senor. Okay, how do we finish off the job here? Problem is I see like no real threats. I don't see any great threats for him either, but... Okay, but now I can just take it, right? That was the idea. Bring the other rook over. If I take... if he took with the knight, now I get this check, and then the third check. And that's it. Oh man, that was intense. All right, one more. Huh. That's weird. What's going on here? There we go. Sorry. Just lost a ton of time trying to fix the recording screen for all you guys. Not perfect anymore. Okay, now we go back to our bishop b5 idea that he has no more knight to d4. Yes, please. Somehow the chat has just been broken. All right, so we agreed to play a best of 7. That means if I win this, it's over. If he wins, we go to a game 7. Okay, so I've definitely managed to get myself in kind of a cramped scenario here. Not ideal at all. So I think I kind of have to castle. And that was a creative solution to his problem. But this still may not be that great for him. Still has to be really careful. He only has 1 check, and he's kind of on the kamikaze approach here. Right? If he plays knight f3 check, I take with the queen, that's 2 checks, but any removal of the queen from the e-file is going to immediately land me my 3 checks in a row. So he understands that and wants no part of it. This could get real scary, right? I'm going to go for this. Oh, nice. All right, one more. All right, rematch time. Last game, he beat me. I didn't even see that coming. And now I got to defend with black. It's not easy to be black in this 3 check. So far, we have proven to be very closely matched. I'm going to be careful about this whole open Sicilian thing this time. He decides that he is too. This is actually similar to some of the lines I've played with MBL, right? Very, very similar. And I think we deal with it like this. Preventing him from just going into 94. So he's still going to do it. But now a check will cost him a piece. So that's the difference. So we can bring the knight into d4. We know he's going to get the bishop to b5 check. We know he's going to get his 2 checks. Okay, he decides maybe smartly that maybe that's not the best thing for him to do. So now I'm going to guard against the 2nd check. Knight d6 check. If bishop takes, queen takes, he wins on the spot, but I can take with the queen. And he sees that. So he's trying to prevent, he's trying to make me allow it. And I'm like, no. No, Scott. Okay, I'm going to move the king off just to get away from all these potential knight checks, shenanigan stuff. Yeah, so he sacrifices correctly, I think, to get the pieces in the game. I'm going to back up the queen to keep it on the diagonal. I definitely think I'm worse here. I'm definitely on the defensive. I don't have any real chance for an initiative at this point, which is the real problem. So if I take and play knight f6, whatever, right? He doesn't have any immediate checks. I can also play knight f6 immediately. Takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, right? And then try to bring my rook to the g file. It's close. It's close. It's not easy to know what the right decision is here to do. I definitely feel like I need to get my pieces in the game, though. All right, I'm going to take the risk that I'm not just losing on this. Takes and takes, takes and takes. He'll play queen e3. I can even play h6. I can also play there, and after check, king up, rook e1. Rook takes g2, bishop takes g2, rook to g8. No, then he can take f6 and then take e6, and I lose. Darn it. I'm going to play here. He wants the queen c5 check now. I get it. Go here. Don't have any time. It's definitely a big part of the problem here. Oh. Oh, it hurts. It hurts so bad. It hurts so bad. I thought so too. I thought so too for a little bit. He said he thought I was going to crush him, and I'm like, well, I thought I was going to crush you too. I mean, that's the honest truth. But that didn't happen. Yeah, you know, to be continued. He got the better of this one. Was fun. Now back to work. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.